United States 4, Paraguay 1. We destroyed them in a totally non-xenophobic way. Jesse Marsch is crying, Europeans are mad, and Americans are having a blast. And listen, changing the game to 4 quarters for more commercials instead of 2 halves is definitely going to benefit the Americans. I mean, they're used to that. But with that said, this was a great way to kick off the 2026 World Cup for the U.S. men's national team at home. And I want to ask you, what did we learn? Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today we have the 7 Things We Learned series, where every single game following a U.S. men's national team match, we tell you 7 things that we learned. Now, look, there are many more lessons. They're not just 7. I can only do 7 because otherwise I'll be talking here forever. So you let me know in the comment section down below, what did you learn from United States 4, Paraguay 1 in the 2026 World Cup? And what can I say now? I'm delusional and ready to get hurt again. Also, I'd like to kindly request for you to drop a like in this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our U.S. men's national team World Cup coverage. And that's all. Let's roll the intro and start the episode with lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is that many people, mostly Europeans, are going to try to downplay this win. They're going to say, and I saw that on Twitter last night, it's just Paraguay. Why are the Americans so delusional? And listen, this Paraguayan national team just lost to the United States 4-1. This is the same Paraguayan national team that qualified in CONMEBOL with 28 points. 28 points was the same amount of points that Brazil had, I believe Uruguay as well. If Paraguay had 1 more point, they would have qualified in 3rd. Only behind Ecuador and Argentina. They had the 2nd best defense in CONMEBOL with only 10 goals conceded in 18 games. Did you hear that? They conceded 10 goals in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying in 18 games. And we scored 4 in 1 single game in the World Cup. So sure, Paraguay is not a World Cup contender. They're not a dark horse, but this is not a scrub team. This is a big win. To me, this was the biggest, or not the biggest, but the most dominant U.S. men's national team win in World Cup history. Yes, it was more dominant than when we had a 3-0 lead against Portugal in 2002. If I'm not mistaken, that game ended 3-2. This was also the first time the U.S. men's national team has ever scored 4 goals in 1 World Cup game. What's my point here? Sure, don't become delusional. Just because we beat Paraguay doesn't mean we're going to win the World Cup. It doesn't mean we're going to make it even to a semifinals. Doesn't even mean we're going to make it to a quarterfinals. But do not let anyone downplay this win. We did not play a bad opponent, right? They're not top teams, but Paraguay, they're not a bad team, and we beat them 4-1. We whooped their asses. Lesson number 2 is a quick one because we kind of learned this already when we played Senegal and Germany, is that our offense is fantastic. This is the best offense the U.S. men's national team has ever had in terms of the starters and the depth, the bench, everyone. It's free-flowing, it's creative, we score goals, we create a lot of chances. We didn't only score 4 goals. We also created plenty of chances. We had a goal that was disallowed, rightfully so. We were even wasteful. We have Balogun, we have Pepe, we have Pulisic, we have Tillman, we have McKennie on the bench. Like we have even Brendan Aronson that plays in the Premier League. He didn't play. That's an option. Zendejas, that's a great player in Liga MX. He didn't play. That's an option. Haji Wright that just got promoted to the Premier League. Gio Reyna that came off the bench and scored a beautiful goal. This is the best offense the U.S. men's national team has ever had in the history of the program. And I'm not exaggerating, and that's why this was the first team to score 4 goals in 1 game in U.S. men's national team World Cup history against an opponent that I'm going to say once again, they were one of the best defenses in South America in World Cup qualifying. Now, lesson number 3 is more of something that I'm concerned about, but before we talk about lesson number 3, a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog, because they decided now, they became completely delusional. Okay, so they decided now to give $25 million away if the United States wins the World Cup. So before we go to lesson number 3, you're going to drop a like in this video and you're going to hear a quick word from the sponsor of this video, Underdog. do not go anywhere. Imagine the US men's national team wins the World Cup and you win $1 million. It can happen. Look, the odds of winning the lottery are roughly 1 in 300 million. So technically, the US men's national team winning the World Cup has higher odds or better odds than you winning the lottery. And if the United States wins the 2026 World Cup, Underdog is giving away $25 million, essentially $1 million for 25 users. It's true. And all you have to do to enter is make one entry on any sport or product in the Underdog app between now and the end of the 2026 World Cup. It can be Pick'em, the predictions market, whatever you want. And if you do not have an Underdog account or app, you can download the Underdog app by using the link in the description of this video or on our Instagram bio. And you must also use our promo code Tactical. New customers that use our promo code get $50 in bonus entries when they play their first $5 with the code Tactical. One nation, Underdog, indivisible, with $25 million given away. Thank you very much, Underdog, and don't forget to use our link in the promo code Tactical. All right, we are back, and now we can talk about lesson number 3, which is something that I'm concerned about, which is our defense. I was concerned about our defense coming into the World Cup, and even though we beat Paraguay 4-1, I'm still concerned about our defense. And that's not because I'm a hater, I'm just rational, okay? Think about it with me. The first half, our defense wasn't really tested, and they still looked shaky in 1 or 2 moments. So far, so good. We did a great job counter-pressing and holding possession. So honestly, Paraguay couldn't do anything in the first half. The second half, the counter-pressing wasn't as good, and we didn't hold as much possession as we did in the first half, which ultimately led to us conceding a goal to a Paraguayan side that was beat, destroyed. They were defeated, right? In Paraguay, I complimented their defense in World Cup qualifying, only conceding 10 goals in 18 games. Their offense was not good in World Cup qualifying. They scored 14 goals in 18 games, which is less than 1 goal per game. So again, this was a game that we should have gotten a clean sheet, and we didn't. I'm still concerned about this defense, even with Chris Richards. That was fantastic. In the last 14 games, the U.S. men's national team has only held 1 clean sheet in the last 14 games. Why is that concerning? Because eventually, we're going to play a team that is more talented than us at some point. How will our defense hold? And again, this is what I'm going to say again. The reason our defense hasn't been as exposed is because our counter-pressing when we lose the ball has been fantastic. But let's remain optimistic. I'm just saying I'm concerned about the defense. There's still time to fix it because we have 2 more games in the group stage, which we will advance. And hopefully by the knockout rounds, Pochettino has that figured out. Hopefully, we get a clean sheet next week against Australia. Lesson number 4 is the way this team performed is what we were always expecting from the golden generation. And I firmly believe that Greg Berhalter held back this generation for multiple years. Sure, some of the players are more mature now, but during the Berhalter era, do you remember any performance that looked somewhat like this? The only time I saw something kind of close, but not at this level, because this was an incredible performance from the United States, was when BJ Callahan was in charge in 2023 in the Nations League semifinals and final. That was the closest we had to what we just saw when we beat Canada and Mexico. Or was it Mexico and Canada? Yeah, Mexico first, Canada second. Canada was in the final, Mexico was in the semifinals. During the Berhalter era, the first one and the second one, we never saw something even close to what we saw last night. So once again, what we saw in this game against Paraguay, that is what the golden generation was supposed to look like multiple times throughout the past 4 years. But hey, better late than ever. I guess we can look at it this way. We're peaking at the right time. And you should probably drop a like in the video right now and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lesson number 5 is also super quick. It's about Malik Tillman. He finally showed us his level. He finally showed us a brilliant performance. Tillman has had ups and downs with the U.S. men's national team, but honestly, more downs. All right. That's why he wasn't a locked-in starter. He started against Paraguay. To me, he might have been even our best performer in the game alongside Balogun, Pulisic, Freeman was quite good. There are many good performers, right, in this game. Most players. Richards, but Tillman to me might have been the best performer. He was incredible. He played in the double pivot with Tyler Adams, as I told you guys that he would. Some people were questioning me, but based on what Pochettino said and was doing, Tillman would be in the double pivot. He was good on defense, good on the counter press, brilliant on the ball. Tillman was fantastic. Now, I can't shout out every player. As I said, many of them were great. Balogun with the brace. He's our best 9. There's no doubt in my mind. Freeman, Pulisic. Actually, I'm going to talk about Pulisic very soon. McKennie. Almost everyone was fantastic. Actually, I don't think anyone was bad at all in this game. Also, a quickie. It's about Christian Pulisic, okay? I talked about this throughout the season when covering him playing for Milan, that he's a streaky player. His lows, they drag, and they're very low. His highs are very high. And what I saw from Christian Pulisic in this game was simply incredible. He was blown by defenders with ease, finding his teammates, combining. He's a streaky player. And I talked about this after the Senegal game. When I saw Pulisic catch some form against Senegal, I told you guys, he's going to have an incredible World Cup. Then we had the Germany game, which he wasn't bad. He also played well. And guess what? He started off the World Cup playing very well. Pulisic's a streaky player. The World Cup is a short tournament. I don't think there will be enough time for him to catch a cold run. With that said, expect Pulisic to be fantastic against Australia as long as he's healthy, and it looks like he's fine, even though he was subbed at halftime. It was just precaution. Expect him to be fantastic against Australia, fantastic against Turkey, and after that, pray for any of our opponents. Lesson number 7. For the first time in my life, the U.S. men's national team can and should 100% top their group in the World Cup. Seriously, I never thought this would happen. Right? And here we are. We are the favorites to top this group. Okay? And once we top this group, we get a somewhat favorable bracket all the way to the quarterfinals where we would probably have to play Spain. By favorable, I mean we're still going to play tough opponents, like we might have to face Belgium, but beatable opponents if we play the way we played, as long as the defense adjusts. So let me ask you a question. Why can't we beat the dark horses of this World Cup? Why can't we make it to the quarterfinals? Semifinals? Tough, not impossible. So once again, I'm going to ask you for the 200th time here. Believe that we can be the dark horse. What you just saw is evidence of that. Okay? Believe. Why can't it be us? But before we get to that, we need to top this group. And I'm actually fairly confident that we will do that. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. We will be doing a match preview for the Australia game. Live watch along, 7 things we learned, everything for the Turkey game, all of the games with the United States in it, of course. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. Thank you very much, Underdog, for sponsoring the channel. If you want to play Underdog, the link will be in the description of this video with our promo code TACTICAL. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and have a great day.